As I said, thank you for the invitation. The request you gave me has been a good opportunity for me to step back and reflect upon what we have done during the process of building new nursing homes and take the different facilities into use. Where we are now and what we should do next, in particular when it comes to implementation of care technology. As you probably know, stepping back, taking a break, is rare and precious in leadership. And since I am the only one from Norway on the podium today, I think it's natural for me that I do a little talk about our results in cross-country skiing and ski jumping. Okay. Nøtterøy municipality is Norway's 50th largest municipality, eller kommune, as we call it. We have, as Denny said, 428, and in Nøtterøy it is 21,000 citizens. We have 2 brand new nursing homes, long-term dementia care at Thoresen, and a rehabilitation, palliative care, and short-term elderly care institution at Smitsrud. We have 178 single rooms, the staff 200 full-time, 285 people, and a budget of approximately 210 million Norwegian crowns. Nøtterøy is also part of Færder National Park, which consists of 180 islands with seagulls, seals, cods, crabs, and swimmers. Nøtterøy, in Viking ages, comes from njota, meaning enjoy, use, benefit, like a pleasure island. Not now. And it suddenly didn't help to get here either. Yesterday evening, the 2 municipal councils from Tjøme and Nøtterøy decided to join. So from 218, we have 427 municipalities in Norway. The reason for doing this municipality reform is, as you probably know, that the care sector and the new responsibilities necessitate larger units. Our objective when it comes to welfare technology is that Nøtterøy wants to be among the leading municipalities in the country in the use of welfare technology. So I understand that we in Norway are slightly behind the rest of you and the Nordic countries coming to this. Maybe we haven't had the right motivation, because of all that oil. Maybe we just are a little slow, but we are speeding up now. Okay? One year ago, more or less, we moved from Jippe. That was a top modern nursing home when it was built in 1963 with no welfare technology. We moved to Thoresen with a lot of technology. We early realized that the needs for new Competencies and experiences in using the new technology were huge. We had to bring and take care of our patients, of course, so that was little time to take all the staff out to team building, training, preparing visions, and working groups across care cultures. We made detailed plans ahead of the moving into Smitsrud, but it is difficult, maybe impossible to plan for everything. The top modern alarm system, fire alarm system, failed. So the moving was exposed. The extra work with reorganization took all our time, also the time that has been set for courses and training. So most of the new technology was left unused in several months. In building Bjørnesåsen, we had learned, and based on the experiences we now had, we were able to make better and more realistic and relevant plans. All employees received training that was specially related to the welfare technology that would be part of the new nursing home. We did the training over a longer period, and care units had a meeting in their new premises, and patients and their families were encouraged to visit their new homes. This is the Norwegian definition on welfare technology. In Nøtterøy, we have considered, excuse me. What we have considered in Nøtterøy is from a benefit and added value perspective. For example, at Bjørnesåsen, we are among other services, 10 care apartments or omsorgsleiligheter for people with dementia. The apartments are stuffed at daytime and evening, but not night. Some patients tend to walk out of their apartment at night time. If that is considered a problem, we can install alarms who will warn the night shift on the nursing home nearby. The technology makes it possible for the person with dementia to live longer in their own apartment. At Bjørnesåsen, we also have a dementia outpatient clinic for diagnosis and patient and family education. Excuse me. Here we administrate free lending of GPS tracking devices. Persons with a relatively early stage dementia but with orientation difficulties can, with the device, be secured to be found if they don't return back as planned. The welfare technology makes it possible for people with dementia to live longer in their own homes. They can preserve their senses of freedom and maintain their resources. Relatives may also feel safer and have greater ability to maintain normal daily activities. People like to play and have fun, especially together. On this slide, it's a link to a very funny video clip. We didn't get the sound on it here, so you can watch it at home. But we are using modern gaming technology to train the elderly, and they like it. The new elderly generation, as we know, is living longer and meet older age with far better resources than previous generations. The new elderly have a higher level of education, a better financial situation, better living conditions, and more functionality than any previous elderly generation before them. They are more accustomed to using technology and wants to take more of their own decisions. This old man is on Skype with his daughter in Australia weekly. The nursing home on Nøtterøy has established a partnership with the entrepreneurship class at Nøtterøy High School. This group of students have developed and made ready for sale a Bluetooth bracelet for localization indoor and outdoor. And with that they have solved, or at some part solved battery problems, and reduced time spent on searching for lost wheelchairs. The patient call system we had in Jippe, the alarm system, was so old that we couldn't get repair parts. We invested in smart floors, as Palle said, with good results on patients falling, just to experience that the contractor we had had no faith in this new technology. He hadn't heard about it, so therefore he took very well paid to install it. And we have very good beds around. Not so many, but very good. Competence developed within the healthcare services will increasingly take place on digital platforms. This could contribute to simplifying individually adapted learning and could make the learning process easier, more active and cheaper. Do not forget to check the filters, firewalls, access restrictions, rights, and other regulation and restrictions the Information Technology Unit of good reasons have given you. We of course had ethical disputes. That is good. For example, it is not acceptable to provide patients with alarms if no safe and low-risk system is developed that responds with the patient's triggered alarm. And another good one, healthcare take place in the meeting between the care receiver and the caregiver and requires several interaction processes between the two. Care can therefore be viewed as collaborative work. Introduction of active use of ICT-supported care requires mastery by both the caregiver and the caretaker. And that is challenging, with caretakers with dementia and senior caregivers still proud of their Nokia from this one. You remember? It's 10 years old. In Norway, we have, of course, laws about this, relatively young laws from 2013, and they stresses voluntarism. There's challenges in Norway, as for all of us, is the same. In Norway, in Nøtterøy, even with building new nursing homes, we are already short of this. There is an estimated 280 people with dementia, 30 or 40 new persons and families affected every year. Patients staying at nursing homes for 2 years and increasing. And 35% is men increasing. We have see more and more of behavioral difficulties according to the care. Our expert and great thinker on this in Norway is Kåre Hagen. The care services crisis is not created by the elderly boom, he says, but by the notion that care cannot be provided in a different way than it is today. Innovation does not only seeking for best practice, but for what can be a better next practice. The concept of innovation implies change and assume a willingness to take risks. One way to describe the concept of innovation may be to say that innovation is known or new knowledge combined with a new method or used in a new context. Ideas converted to better practice that creates added value, enterprising, daring, and experimentally informed, a way of approaching tasks, a culture, and the process who results in is unknown in advance. The student you see here and one of our nurses have developed an idea to an app that gives you directly access to the patient's medical journal so that you can record measurements, check medicines, do documentation in the journal, and get information that is provided on your phone in the patient's room. It possibly gives more time for closeness and warmth. I've borrowed 3 questions from Anita to answer, and I take one of them. At the time. Which problems take place in the introduction of welfare technology? Training. With and especially training with the IT department. We gathered a group of employees that we knew it would be hard to train in this new technology. Some had not begun to use smartphones and use the time it took training in basic use of computer, tablet, smartphone, Outlook, Word, and it was very successful. The employees, who easily could become problems, found themselves experts on the new technology before their colleagues, and they enjoyed teaching the younger. And when it comes to design, it is important that technology fits in and look good. We wanted to build a home with identity, recognition, and safety. And welfare technology doesn't always fit in that. What original changes evolves in the introduction of welfare technology? We have a new and more integrated IT support. Yesterday I heard new research in Norway that indicates that 100% welfare consists of 20% technology and 80% leadership and organizational development. I'll give you a tragic example. A resident, one of ours, went out on one night. She did not find back in and was not found until the following morning. She died later in hospital. She had multiple sensors and alarms, a lot of technology, but it does not relieve healthcare personnel responsibilities, professional responsibilities. The tragic accident was investigated, and Norwegian Board of Health Supervision said, we will, however, point out that this case is not primarily focused on deficiencies in technological solutions or procedures, but the municipalities, ours, inability to deal with knowledge of the patient's needs, knowledge of risks, and deficiencies of the measures that were implemented. Technology can never replace human caregiving and physical proximity, but it can help to strengthen social networks and facilitate greater cooperation with the services, local communities, families, and volunteers. It can also free up resources in the care services that can then be used in direct user-oriented activities. The development of welfare technology must be placed in the framework. It must be aimed at solving specific problems and addressing users' needs. Welfare technology should therefore be implemented in the nursing home alongside changes in the organization and focus of the services. In order to fully exploit the potential of welfare technology, a framework must be created that encourages the municipalities to make greater use of such solutions. The care services of tomorrow will be dependent on cooperation between the state and the municipalities, cooperation between employees and managers, cooperation between service providers, users, and family members, and cooperation between investors of new technology and solutions in business and caregivers in municipalities. Expanded cooperation with trade and industry and research institutions will also be crucial components in our innovation activities. So if you are nearby, thank you.